will be engulfing some of the countries in the area.
Yes, but you don't seem to have a solution.
We don't. We don't have
you say we can't bomb them, we can't stop them, and we can't build a bomb ourselves. So what are you going to do?
Well, building a bomb yourself is not going to solve the situation.
No, deterrence works. Deterrence worked between the United States and the Soviet Union. We know that it worked.
Well, it would work
and
between those.
And we know that it has worked in the case of India and Pakistan.
I don't know about how much working is going to take between India and Pakistan, but between the United States and Russia, that it really worked. And if you remember, some of the professors our generation, they would remember what happened with the Cuban missiles. I mean, if you want to go through the Cuban missiles, half of us will have heart attacks, by the time we are 35. And we did go, even though with the deterrent and facing power will stop it, but we were very worried all these years. And most of you would agree with me how critical was the situation between the two camps, between the NATO and the communist countries. And it wasn't very healthy. Now it's healthy. We thought it was healthy until Mr. Bush took over and it became one power in the world. But having everybody make a nuclear weapon is not a deterrent from who's going to start first, unfortunately. And I think diplomacy will have to prevail in this situation. And the Iranian, as foolish as they may look, they are very smart. And they know what they're doing, and they know they cannot use that nuclear power to the extent where it starts a series of attacks.
I somehow have the feeling that you have a secret formula that you don't want to tell us about. You are not sharing it.
No.
But perhaps it is to get President Ahmadinejad to lose the next election and to have President Khatami win that election in the hope that that will bring greater normalcy into Iranian foreign policy.
Well, I don't know if some of you knew that there are two, we don't want to get scientific here, but nuclear reactors, there is the uranium who's 238 and the uranium 235, which is the one that can make nuclear weapons. Most of the, what is it, I forgot the word to use, not the culture thing, but most of the enrichment, thank you, most of the enrichment of the 38 to 35 happened at Khatami's time. So we don't know. I mean, Ahmadinejad, I think he's just a loose mouth, and we hear him talking verbally about these things, but I think the Iranian have calculated things, and I don't think they really want to bomb anybody. I think they're smarter than that. Even though they act like, I call it Gaddafiism. Gaddafi used to shoot his mouth in different direction and do crazy things, but they are much smarter than Gaddafi, and I think it will be okay.
Okay, we will have to open the floor for questions, but before we do that, to end your statement, can you identify 3 good things about Saudi Arabia which this audience should know, but they do not know? And so please tell them 3 things which they should have known, but which you are bringing to them.
Well, I can't tell them about something they know?
No.
Oh. Then I'm done. Three things.
Would you like to change it into telling them about 3 things that they know which are wrong?
Well, I tell you, the thing beside we having the most sacred 2 cities, which is Mecca and Medina, which bring us to, if you see that Hajj thing, if you go to it and you see about 2 million people moving in synchronously around an area with peaceful hum, and all of that, it really brings peace to your heart. And this is something a lot of people don't know or don't recognize. But this is something good about the kingdom, that it will, a city of built infrastructurally to 500,000 people that can take up to 3 million people within a week. And we had some accident because of the flow of people and things like that. That's one thing good. The second good thing about, we're talking about goods, right?
Yeah, 3.
Is our kids. You know, I have never seen more curious kids in the world than young Saudi kids. They are very curious. Unfortunately, we don't give them the chance to help them to think. You know, we're a structured society. No, you cannot think this way, you cannot think that way. And therefore, we suppress that curiosity. But with King Abdullah, he really is paying a lot of attention to not only women, but children, and encouraging them to go to science and things like that. That's something not too many people know about because I guess we are the young country. Like I said, the average age is 25, so you will find a lot of curious kids, and that's good.
That's 2.
2, generosity. I think generosity is something that you would feel every time you knock on a Saudi home. You will see people open their arms, and there is something called never say no to a guest, and that I don't think I can take that. But a lot of people in my country, if you say I want to just move in, yeah, you don't have to say move. You just move in, and they will take care of you as long as you're with them. And that's something amazes me, and I don't know how they do it. But the generosity, actually, it hit us in a bad side when we start giving money and not thinking where this money is going. And we slowed down on that, but that was good part that turned to be bad by the bad people. Bad things. Yeah. Right? Yeah. You want to hear about bad things? Sure. Women drive, not driving. That's something really is, it was mentioned in here. I'm going to go to all your questions, and I can pick up all the bad things that about Saudi Arabia. But women not be able to drive is a terrible thing, and I hope and I know that we are working, the kingdom is working on that. And the king will declare one day that women will drive. Our dependence on oil as a revenue is a bad thing. I think we should tighten our belts and tighten our heads to think about new alternatives and new income, and we're doing that. So, but that is a bad thing, depending on a finite oil. Even though we have 286 billion barrels of reserve, and this is a proven reserve. The unreserved, we can go to 500 billion of that, but still, this is a finite subject that or material that can run away.
We have time. We have time for some questions. Please raise your hands. Keep your hands up. Yes, the young fellow in the aisle here in front. I would wait for a mic if I were you. Rules are rules. And if you would introduce yourself.